United States one-dime coins represent a rich legacy of American history, artistry, and hidden value, from early silver dimes to rare vintage issues. Collectors search for exceptional condition, low survival rates, and unique characteristics that can elevate a simple dime into a highly desirable collectible. These historic dimes reflect economic eras, craftsmanship, and rarity, making them fascinating to collectors who believe even a small coin can hold remarkable worth. Some coins whisper stories through generations. A small silver disc that might have passed through the hands of farmers, soldiers, shopkeepers, or children in 1924. And if yours is a 1924 dime from the United States, you're holding a piece of history. This isn't fiction. It's real metal struck nearly 102 years ago, when silver was money and the world was finding its feet after the Great War. Coin trackers. This dime, known as a Mercury dime to collectors, though it actually depicts Liberty in a wing cap, is made of 90% silver and 10% copper, meaning even in normal condition it has melt value based on silver content alone. Coin trackers. At face value, this coin was worth 10 cents when it was made. That's humble. But over time, as old coins become rare survivors, collectors will pay more, sometimes hundreds or low thousands of dollars, depending on condition, rarity, and history. Coin trackers. In typical circulated condition, meaning a coin that shows wear from use, a 1924 dime might be worth only a few dollars over its metal value. It's beautiful, it's old, but it's common enough. Coin trackers. However, coins with exceptional quality, sharp details, and proof-like surfaces that have never been touched by pocket will contract higher prices because collectors seek them. Coin study. One of the rarest modern auction results was a 1924 S Mercury dime in superb condition, which sold for around $98,400 at auction, a truly notable sum, but still far from millions. Great collections. Most uncirculated 1924 dimes, even from the San Francisco or Denver mints, sell in a range of hundreds to a few $1,000s, not millions, unless something particularly extraordinary about your coin is verified. Coin study. Imagine this. A tiny, gleaming coin from nearly a century ago, still showing the fine engravings of Lady Liberty's face. A collector sees this and feels time itself. That sense of wonder is worth more than face value. Coin trackers. Collectors don't just buy coins. They buy stories, rarity, and drama. If your coin has full bands, sharp definition on the fasces on reverse, no wear or mint error, it instantly leaps into a special category. CJ. But even with such traits, values normally stay in the realm of thousands of dollars, not millions. Values skyrocket only for coins with extremely low-known specimens, numbered in single digits, or famous error coins. Great collections. So the fantasy of overnight billionaire from a 1924 dime is not typical, and no verified sale has ever reached that level for this date. Great collections. Here is the coin's history in essence. In 1924, the United States Mint struck millions of these dimes across its major facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, producing a large population of survivors. Coin values. Philadelphia struck the most, so those coins are most common in today's collector markets. Denver and San Francisco struck fewer, which would make their coins marginally rarer and more valuable in top grades. Coin trackers. Collectors grade coins on a scale from poor to mint state 70, perfect. Most 1924 dimes found in change or old boxes are below mint state, and those bring modest prices. Coin value checker. Mint state coins graded between MS-60 and MS-65 commonly sell for hundreds of dollars. Extremely high grades, MS-66, MS-67, can push into low thousands. A coin graded MS-67 FB sold for about $1,920 to $4,250 at auction, and that's real market data. PCGS. Coins that show extraordinary strike quality and flawless surfaces, and sometimes certified by top grading companies, fetch the highest prices. Coin trackers. One amazingly rare San Francisco specimen in top grade fetched nearly 6 figures, which shows that exceptional condition commands attention. Great collections. But millions? That would require a truly historically momentous rarity, like an unknown variety with only one or two examples surviving and a dramatic backstory. No such documented case exists for the year 1924 dime so far. Great collections. Coins with known errors, off-center strikes, missing mint marks, double dies can also be prized. But those values are based strictly on rarity and collector demand, not myth. CGA. The real magic of owning a coin like yours is knowing you hold a tangible artifact from nearly a century ago, an object that slipped through countless hands across world events. Coin trackers. A Mercury dime at its height of quality can be a centerpiece of collection, admired for historical artistry as much as for market value. Coin trackers. Before considering selling, collectors often have coins professionally graded and authenticated, a step that can raise value significantly if the coin earns a high grade. Coin trackers. Even modestly valuable coins, say $500 or $1,000 pieces, can feel like treasure if they were hidden for generations and uncovered by chance. Coin trackers. But true financial legends in coin collecting, transactions of millions of dollars, come from rarities like the 1894 S Barber dime or unique proof coins with a handful of survivors. Great collections. So embrace this. Your 1924 dime could be worth a lot more than 10 cents, especially if in impeccable condition, but million-dollar value is unlikely based on known auction history. Great collections. This doesn't diminish your coin's importance. It just places in the real world of numismatics, where history and scarcity dictate value. Coin trackers. A dime minted in 1924 carries the whispers of the Roaring Twenties, the shadows of the First World War's aftermath, and the artistry of early 20th century coin design. Coin trackers. Ultimately, the value of your coin depends on its exact type, mint mark, condition, and whether any rare attribute is present. Coin value checker. If you want, you can share a photo of both sides of the dime, and I can help evaluate what category it most likely belongs to and whether it's the kind that could interest serious collectors. But the notion of instantly becoming a billionaire just from any 1924 dime isn't grounded in how coin markets actually work. Great collections. The year 1925 sits quietly in American history, yet a small silver dime born in that year carries a weight far greater than its size. When you hold a 1925 United States dime in your hand, you are touching an object created in a time when money itself had substance, when silver was trusted, and when every coin carried the authority of a nation rebuilding its confidence after war and hardship. This dime was never meant to make anyone rich. It was designed for daily life, coffee, bread, newspapers, but time as a way of transforming ordinary things into objects of desire. As decades passed, millions of these dimes vanished into melting pots, lost pockets, and forgotten jars, quietly reducing the number that survived in meaningful condition. Collectors today are not chasing metal alone. They are chasing survival. A 1925 dime that escaped heavy wear, corrosion, and human neglect becomes more than currency. It becomes a witness. Every sharp line on its surface suggests a life untouched by circulation, a coin that somehow avoided the rough journey most others endured. The fascination deepens when people realize that not all 1925 dimes are equal. Some were struck more cleanly, some more carelessly, and some under circumstances that produce subtle differences invisible to untrained eyes. These differences are where imagination begins to mix with possibility, and where stories of unimaginable value are born. In the world of coin collecting, value is not created by age alone. It is created by condition, rarity, demand, and narrative. A flawless coin from 1925 can ignite competition among collectors who spend years chasing perfection. When desire meets scarcity, prices rise, sometimes shockingly fast. Legends often grow around such coins. Stories circulate of forgotten collections discovered in old estates, of heirs uncovering pristine dimes locked away for generations. These moments fuel the belief that a single coin can alter destiny overnight, and while such stories are rare, they are powerful enough to keep hope alive. The 1925 dime belongs to an era when craftsmanship mattered. Its design was not rushed by modern machinery alone, but shaped by human intention. The balance, symmetry, and detail reflect an artistic standard that collectors deeply respect, especially when preserved in near-perfect form. Some believe that coins like this carry more than monetary value, that they carry luck, timing, and destiny. While such beliefs cannot be measured, they explain why people hesitate to sell too quickly, fearing that patience could multiply reward beyond imagination. Condition transforms everything. A worn 1925 dime speaks of use and survival, while an untouched one whispers of secrecy and protection. That contrast alone can separate a common collectible from a headline-worthy treasure. Collectors are drawn to the idea that somewhere, perhaps in a forgotten box or inherited drawer, lies a dime so perfectly preserved that it challenges known examples. The possibility, however slim, is enough to drive auctions, research, and lifelong searches. The market does not reward dreams blindly, but it does reward rarity proven by evidence. When a coin stands alone in quality, demand can escalate beyond logic, driven by pride, competition, and the human desire to own the best. Stories of overnight fortune are rarely simple truth, but they are rooted in moments where patience, knowledge, and timing aligned. A coin does not make someone wealthy by magic. It does so by meeting the exact conditions collectors crave. The 1925 dime also reflects an economic era where money was tangible and trusted. That emotional connection adds depth to its appeal, especially among collectors who see coins as physical history rather than investments alone. Many people underestimate small denominations, assuming only gold matters. Yet history has proven that dimes, because they were heavily used, can become rarer in high condition than larger coins, making perfection unusually valuable. When rumors of million-dollar coins circulate, they often originate from extreme outliers, coins with unmatched preservation or unique characteristics. These outliers shape expectations, even if they are not the norm. What truly gives a 1925 dime power is uncertainty. Not knowing how many flawless examples still exist creates tension, and tension fuels value. The unknown always commands attention. Collectors respect restraint. Selling too quickly can close the door on future potential, while patience allows time for rarity to reveal itself. This is why experienced collectors often advise caution over impulse. The dime itself remains silent, yet its surface records time. Every detail either strengthens or weakens its story, and collectors read these details like historians read manuscripts. The belief that a coin can change a life overnight is not entirely fantasy. It is simply rare. But rarity is a foundation of all great collectibles, and coins are no exception. A 1925 dime, preserved against all odds, becomes a survivor of history, economics, and human behavior. That survival is what collectors pay for, not the silver alone. The market rewards those who understand nuance. Small differences can separate a modest collectible from a centerpiece of a world-class collection. This is why people say such coins should never be rushed to sale. Value matures with knowledge, verification, and time. The true wealth of a 1925 dime lies not just in dollars, but in what it represents, a moment in history captured in metal, waiting to be understood. Whether or not it reaches unimaginable value depends on facts, not fantasy. But imagination is what brings people to the table in the first place. Coins do not promise fortune. They offer possibility. And possibility is powerful. In the end, a 1925 United States dime is not just a coin. It is a test of patience, a lesson in rarity, and a reminder that even the smallest objects can carry enormous meaning when time decides to favor them. The year 1930 stands at the edge of uncertainty in American history, and a small silver dime minted in that moment carries a gravity far heavier than its size suggests. When you hold a 1930 United States dime, you're holding an object born at the dawn of the Great Depression, when hope and fear shared the same breath. This dime entered the world at a time when money was trusted because it was real. Silver had weight, sound, and authority, and every coin struck carried confidence that paper alone could not provide. People relied on these coins not as collectibles, but as lifelines. No one in 1930 imagined that a dime could ever become an object of obsession. It passed through hands that were worried about survival, not preservation. Most were spent quickly, worn down by hardship, and forgotten as decades moved forward. That is what makes survival meaningful. A 1930 dime that escaped heavyware did not do so by accident. It avoided countless transactions, drawers, and pockets. Its existence today in strong condition hints at intention, protection, or pure chance, each equally powerful in the collector's imagination. Coins gain value not because they are old, but because they are rare in the state collectors desire. Time is ruthless to silver, and the fact that many 1930 dimes were heavily used makes pristine examples emotionally and financially compelling. Collectors see these coins as frozen moments. The design, the shine, the untouched details are like a paused heartbeat from a nation struggling to stay upright. That emotional connection fuels demand far beyond metal value. Legends grow quietly in the numismatic world. Stories of coins discovered in forgotten safes or inherited collections give rise to the belief that a single dime can transform a life overnight. While rare, these moments shape how people perceive possibility. The phrase $1,000,000 coin is not born from fantasy alone. It is born from the knowledge that value explodes when rarity, demand, and perfection intersect. A single surviving example in extraordinary condition can rewrite expectations. The 1930 dime sits at a crossroads of history. It reflects restraint, survival, and endurance. Collectors are drawn to such symbolism because it adds meaning to ownership beyond profit. Condition is everything. A coin that still carries sharp details and untouched surfaces feels almost impossible, given the era it came from. That impossibility is where value begins to stretch. Some believe coins like this carry destiny, not because of superstition, but because timing, discovery, and patience often align unexpectedly. Wealth, in such cases, is the result of restraint rather than rush. The dime itself makes no promises. It simply exists. But the market reacts to existence differently when the object defies probability. Collectors compete not only with money, but with pride. Owning the finest known example of a coin becomes a statement of dedication and authority, and those motivations can drive prices to extraordinary heights. A 1930 dime with exceptional preservation challenges assumptions. It asks how it survived untouched while millions of others did not. That question alone adds intrigue. Many dismiss small denominations, assuming greatness must come from gold. Yet history repeatedly proves that scarcity in small coins can be far more dramatic. The idea of overnight fortune persists because it has happened, just not often. Coins that change lives do so quietly, without warning, and usually to those who waited. Selling too quickly is often the greatest regret in collecting. Time rewards patience more than impulse, and those who understand this treat coins as long-term stories, not short-term transactions. The 1930 dime teaches that value is not loud. It grows slowly, shaped by time, rarity, and attention. Market perception evolves. What once seemed common can become elusive as examples disappear into permanent collections. Coins do not gain power on their own. People give them power through belief, competition, and desire. A dime that once bought bread can one day command respect simply because it endured. The possibility of extraordinary value does not rest in fantasy, but in alignment of condition, timing, and demand. The coin's silence is part of its strength. It reveals nothing, yet invites endless interpretation. Collectors are historians at heart. They preserve what time tried to erase. A 1930 dime is not just metal. It is survival pressed into silver. Whether it reaches unimaginable value depends not on hope alone, but on facts revealed through time. Fortune does not come from spending quickly, but from knowing when not to. This is why such coins are held carefully, studied deeply, and spoken about quietly. The smallest objects often carry the longest stories. And sometimes, history rewards those who listen. The year 1931 was a moment suspended in fear and endurance, and a small silver dime born in that year carries the emotional weight of a nation struggling to breathe. When you look at a 1931 United States dime, you are not just seeing currency. You are seeing survival pressed into metal. This dime was created during a time when every coin mattered. People did not save money for dreams. They saved it to stay alive. That reality shaped how these coins were used, worn, and often destroyed by necessity rather than care. Because of this, most 1931 dimes lived hard lives. They passed rapidly from hand to hand, worn down by hunger, worry, and relentless circulation. Very few escaped this fate untouched. That is where the mystery begins. A 1931 dime that survives in exceptional condition immediately raises questions. How did it avoid daily use when almost everything else was spent? Why was it protected when others were not? Collectors are drawn to such questions because rarity is not always about low production. It is about low survival. Time is merciless, and silver shows every moment it endures. In a collector's world, perfection feels almost unnatural for a coin from 1931. When one appears, it disrupts expectations and forces attention. The market notices anomalies. The idea of unimaginable wealth tied to such a small object comes from moments when rarity collides with obsession. A single coin can become the center of desire if it stands alone in quality. Coins like this gain power not through promises, but through probability. The lower the chance of survival, the higher the emotional and financial response. A 1931 dime also represents silence. It does not tell its story easily. Every line and surface must be interpreted, like reading history without words. Collectors see themselves as guardians of these silent witnesses. They do not simply buy coins. They rescue moments from extinction. Legends form when people discover coins that should not exist in such condition. These discoveries fuel belief that fortune can arrive unexpectedly. The phrase overnight wealth exists because once in a great while, patience meets rarity at the perfect moment. But those moments favor preparation, not impulse. The dime itself carries no guarantees. Its power lies in how the world reacts to it once its uniqueness is understood. Small denominations often deceive. People overlook them, assuming greatness must be large and heavy. History repeatedly proves the opposite. A flawless or near-flawless 1931 dime becomes a contradiction of its era. It survived when survival itself was rare. Collectors compete not only with money, but with time. Owning the best example of something means owning the end of a long search. This competition can elevate a single coin far beyond logic, driven by pride, scarcity, and a desire to possess what others cannot. Coins that change lives do so quietly. There are no warnings, no countdowns, just recognition at the right moment. Selling too early can erase potential. Many experienced collectors believe time is the most valuable partner a coin can have. A 1931 dime rewards understanding more than excitement. Knowledge protects value better than speed. The belief that a coin can change fortune is rooted in history, not myth. It has happened, but never by accident. Coins are mirrors. They reflect the era they came from and the mindset of those who seek them. The Great Depression stripped excess and revealed essence. A dime from that era carries that lesson forward. Rarity grows as years pass. Coins disappear into permanent collections, leaving fewer available for future. The market responds slowly, then suddenly. What seems ordinary today can become extraordinary tomorrow. This is why restraint matters. Coins do not age alone. They age within demand. A 1931 dime is not powerful because of size or shine, but because it endured when most did not. Its true value lies in alignment, condition, timing, recognition, and patience. Those who understand this do not rush. They listen. History does not shout. It waits. And sometimes it rewards those who waited too. The year 1936 arrived with quiet determination, and a small silver dime born in that year carries a spirit of recovery, resilience, and cautious hope. When you look at a 1936 United States dime, you are not simply seeing money. You are witnessing a nation slowly rising after being bent by hardship. This dime emerged during a time when Americans were learning to trust again. The wounds of the Great Depression were still visible, but optimism had begun to return. Every coin struck carried meaning far beyond its denomination. People in 1936 treated money with respect. Coins were saved, spent carefully, and passed through hands that understood struggle. That reality shaped how these dimes lived their lives, used often, worn deeply, and rarely protected. Because of this, most 1936 dimes did not survive in strong condition. They were tools of necessity, not treasures. Their surfaces tell stories of movement, pressure, and endurance. This is why a well-preserved 1936 dime feels almost unnatural today. Its existence challenges expectation. It raises a silent question. How did this one escape when so many others did not? Collectors are drawn to such questions because they signal rarity. Not rarity of production, but rarity of survival, which is often more powerful. In the world of coin collecting, survival in exceptional condition creates gravity. Attention follows. Desire forms. Competition begins quietly, then intensifies. The belief that a coin can carry unimaginable wealth is born in moments when the unexpected appears. A single extraordinary specimen can redefine perception. Coins like the 1936 dime become symbols of patience. They reward those who understand that time does not destroy everything. It selectively preserves. Small silver coins are deceptive. Their size causes many to underestimate them. Yet their heavy use makes pristine examples far more elusive than larger denominations. A 1936 dime that retains sharp detail and original character becomes a contradiction of its era. It is proof that even during times of struggle, perfection occasionally survived unnoticed. Collectors see such coins as survivors of probability. Every decade that passes increases their significance. The market does not respond to age alone. It responds to rarity combined with desire, and desire grows strongest when supply quietly disappears. Legends emerge when coins surface unexpectedly. Stories of forgotten boxes and inherited collections fuel the belief that fortune can arrive without warning. The idea of overnight transformation is rare, but it is rooted in moments where preparation met discovery. Coins reward knowledge, not haste. The 1936 dime carries a unique emotional weight. It represents a nation learning to move forward, step by step, coin by coin. Collectors often feel a sense of responsibility towards such objects. Preserving them feels like protecting history itself. The dime does not speak, yet it communicates through its condition. Every untouched line tells a story of restraint and chance. Competition among collectors can elevate a single coin beyond expectation. Pride, patience, and legacy all influence value. Many underestimate how quietly value grows. What seems ordinary today can become extraordinary as fewer examples remain available. Coins disappear into permanent collections, never to return to the market. Each disappearance increases the importance of those that remain. This is why selling without understanding can be costly. Time often multiplies value more effectively than excitement. A 1936 dime does not promise wealth, but offers possibility, and possibility is what drives collectors forward. Coins that change lives rarely announce themselves. They wait. The power of such a coin lies not in fantasy, but in alignment, condition, timing, demand, and recognition. Those who rush often regret. Those who wait often understand. History favors restraint. A dime that once bought small comforts can one day command deep respect. Its journey from pocket change to potential treasure is shaped entirely by time. The smallest objects often carry the longest stories. And sometimes, when patience meets rarity, history answers quietly, but powerfully.